there are going to be some Christians watching this who will be going, why are you talking to an astrologer? Astrology is not Christian. The Bible enjoys. Well, St. Augustine practiced astrology. That he later may have renounced it. But the point is that it ain't as simple as that, I think.
No, and not only that, but you can stick this one in their pipes and they can smoke it. The 3 wise kings were astrologers. That's in the Bible.
Yeah.
That's how they found him, through a star. They found him through a star. I mean, it's ridiculous. But you can't please all the people all the time, can you?
No, I think we're all finding our way, and I think that anyone. I don't judge people whether they're Christians or not, whether they're Muslims or Hindus or whatever. I think we're all trying to make sense of what's going on. But have you listened to either of my Jonathan Miles Lee podcasts?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. Okay. So Jonathan was really the guy who turned me on my path towards proper Christianity, in that Jonathan was a bit like you. He was not a straightforward down the line Christian. Jonathan had psychic powers, and when he was at school, this evil entity tried to pull down his sheets and whispered in his ear, where is the snake? And he protected himself by finding a copy of the New Testament and keeping it by his bed. He said he had a direct connection with this stuff. And what Jonathan made me realize is that this stuff is not just a sort of cultural thing that we've been taught to follow over the years as a way of controlling us and making us be good. It's actually real. God is real. The devil is real. Angels are real, and demons are real. Oh, yeah. And I don't think the people who don't understand. I look at some Christians and I think you don't really get it. You think you know what the deal is, but actually, unless you absolutely understand that God is real and He is your savior, that He sent His only Son to save you, and that this stuff was not made up, then you're not really getting it.
Completely. And the truth is that the human experience in the world is far more magical and mysterious, far more magical, richer than we can possibly imagine. I mean, I've had so much experience of that. I mean, I've seen ghosts. I've had firsthand experience of my friend Eddie Burks, the man I mentioned, who they named the ghost hunter, performing his work, his great work of service in releasing a trapped spirit. I've released trapped spirits myself. And it's the world of the fairy king, the David kingdom, they're absolutely real. And this is one of the reasons why in my opinion, they're doing what they're doing, because these people are ultra materialists. And one of the biggest problems is people, you see, I wanted to speak to you about this. You would understand this because you've brushed up. You went to school with Chris Whitty. At Oxford, you would have inevitably rubbed shoulders with certain people.
Yeah, totally.
Who are like, right. So I've met Jeffrey Epstein. I've met Bill Gates. All this stuff. I've slept in a house owned by the Rothschilds. I know, and the problem is that the man in the street doesn't understand the mentality of these people, and when they can't get their heads around the fact that when you make more than $5,000 a second, $5,000, or let's put it this way, 4,000, 3,000, 4,000 pounds every second of your life, what that can do to your soul. I'm talking about Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, and Elon Musk. That's the amount of money these people make. What does it do to you? What's it going to do to you? It is the classic thing. I mean, there was a study done many years ago at Stanford University. They used the Monopoly. Students playing Monopoly, and the paper that came out of the study was called the arsehole effect, because they discovered the person who was given they gave one of the players like a head start in terms of winning the game. And it was a game, right? But they were videotaping the game in a locked room, and this extraordinary thing happened because the guy who started to win, once he started to win and take everything and take all the property, he became a total jerk, a total arsehole, even though he was a student and he was playing against his best mate. Yeah. And you've got to understand, you've been around these people, and I'm talking about the Rothschilds, or whatever the family businesses and the family money, the Johnsons and Johnsons and all of this world.
Yeah.
They have a different way of looking at life because they don't have problems with money, and they think that we are literally the little people.
Yeah. We are useless,
and we are dispensable, and there's too many of us. It's just too many of us now.
Yes, exactly. Now, I wonder whether you can help me answer. Actually, you won't be able to answer this question because it's impossible. But there are different theories. Well, because it's worth discussing, because a lot of people ask about this. There are different theories on whether these people are sort of pre-selected and groomed from a very early age. Like, was Boris Johnson always destined for this sort of meat puppet role as a kind of useful idiot of the globalist elite, or was he forged by circumstances? And as you say, I was with a lot of these people at Oxford. I mean, I was there with Gove, although I knew him. I got to befriend him afterwards. I was friends with Boris. I was friends with Dave Cameron, and it never struck me at the time that these people were agents of Satan or whatever. They just struck me as just kind of fairly ambitious undergraduates who just wanted to, get a blue, say, for playing tennis, like I think David Cameron probably did, or to become president of the union like Boris did, or whatever. It seems to me that they've been seduced into the dark path rather than that they were created that way. But maybe you've got a different, or maybe you'd argue that they were destined to be who they are.
Well, okay, so like character is destiny, and in that sense, you definitely have in the chart, you can see the potential for the highest development and the lowest development. And the problem with these people, they've taken the lowest path. I actually agree with you, and I think when we're talking about the satanic aspect of this, I think the number of people who are sort of at that level of it is very, very, very small. Very small. I think most people are. I think there's a lot of bribery around. There's a lot of bribery around. A lot of money. I mean, but the people who are involved in it's not like the G20. They're off doing a satanic ritual every night after they've had dinner. You know what I mean? But so I agree with you. But money. Look, are you telling me if you wouldn't do it because you're James Delingpole, but I can guarantee you, someone like Boris Johnson. If somebody offered him $1 billion just to play along with this scenario, when's that man going to make $1 billion in his life?
That's very true. No, I think it's important to define what you mean by satanic, because obviously not everyone is going to adrenochrome parties and sacrificing children to Satan. That's kind of a niche of the upper echelons of whatever. But I think more generally, if we understand that the world is the realm of the prince of lies, it's the devil, it's kind of it's our testing ground, and we get to choose free will, whether or not we choose and this is something that Lawrence Fox's dad, James Fox, explained to me. I think it's one of the most insightful things I've ever heard. He's a Christian, and he said that I asked him about whether he'd come across kind of satanic practice in his time when he was making Performance with Mick Jagger and so on, when he was at the high level in the movie industry. And he said, it's not the entertainment industry, it is the world, it is the nature of the world. And you think about this, and you think about, we leave school and we've been sold this fantasy that it's, if we just work hard and keep our noses clean and get a mortgage, we'll have a happy, secure life and a nice retirement and stuff. And actually, what this misses out is the detail that most of the ways that we are given to make money involve moral compromises of one sort or another. And that is the nature of the problem. So if you're in politics and you want to get on, you've got to very quickly overcome your principles and do whatever your party says, or in the case of Boris Johnson's government, doing what the World Economic Forum and the Council on Foreign Relations and all these supranational bodies that really control the world. You've got to take your orders. And if you do that, you're going to get a place like George Osborne did on Oleg Deripaska's yacht, and you're going to be a made man, aren't
Absolutely
you? And
right.
that's the deal.
Absolutely right. I mean, absolutely right. You're unquestionably right. 100%.
And I don't know. So, okay. So going back to that astrological thing, and I'm sorry for any Christians there who are saying you shouldn't be asking questions about astrology. I'm saying, look, okay, I'm a sinner. I'm flawed. I'm curious. I know the deal you're supposed to do is to just totally trust in God and he'll take care of it. And I can see that's good for a lot of people, but unfortunately, I happen to have been born with this curiosity, which is why I'm a journalist. I want to know stuff. I want to fathom out, I want to suss out the world.